Good morning. Well, how do you file your tax documents, or how do you assemble them? So when you are filing your business tax return, it could be Form 1065 or Form 1120S for an S Corp and Form 1065 for LLC or partnership. You first complete the form, especially if you are completing it in PDF to print it out and mail. You complete your form 10, let's just pick one form 1065 for your LLC or partnership. You complete the Schedule K1, Schedule K1s for Form 1065, and the supplemental information or the supporting document that you are going to attach, you complete that as well, or you put it together. So now that the Form 1065 is done, you will pull your state Form 1065 and Schedule K1. You complete them as well. And make sure you have folder online. You have folder on your computer for the business. It could be folder, it could be the folder for the business name, and then you'll have a folder named task filed. That will be for prior years, and then you have a folder task in progress, for instance. And under that, you'll have a folder for the tax year 2020, and inside that folder, you'll have your state folder, and then you'll have IRS folder. So inside IRS folder, you'll have Form 1065, Schedule K1, dash one partner's name, Schedule K1 for the other. But we'll talk about how you'll complete those. But when you first save those forms, you save Form 65 and you save one copy of Schedule K1. And later, as you complete the form Schedule K1, you can create for partners. So now that we are done with all of that, let's print the document. So that's what the video is about. When you print your tax documents, it is a good idea to print them and organize them at the same time, because you are going to print the federal tax return for IRS. You are going to print it out for the states, and you are going to print a copy for your business. So that will be 3. But when you print it the first time, you are going to sign it, and you are going to make 2 copies, one for the business and one for IRS, and one for the states. And then you will print the states as well. So it's good to have a place to work and not to be distracted. So I'm going to work on one, and I just wanted to share that with you. If you are if you get confused, or you get you file you have an issue with that. So that's the way I like in the morning when I come in. That's the way I like my desk to be. And when I'm done working, that's the way I put it before I leave the office. So I just move my computer that I use to work, and I just move it to the side where I can print. And I pretty much, the desk is available for me, and I'm going to make the first print. So I'm going to print 1065. And I'm going to make 1 copy. And I will print on one side. And when you print your copies, you can use folders, you can use clips and paper or tab, so that you clip on every things you print. What is IRS, what is your state, what is for record, what is for partners. And it's very important to stay organized. That way, by the time you are done, you know the stock you put in an envelope for IRS, the stock that will go in the envelope for the states, and what that will go in the business file, and what you send to your partners. It's very important when you print the form out, you sign it. So it's good you print one copy of the federal tax return, you sign it and you make copies. That way you are sure that you signed the original. Because if you print 3 copies and sign them all, you don't know for sure if you sign every single one of them. So I print 1065 is 5 pages. The page 1, Schedule B and Schedule K. So I'm going to sign it. And I will use a black ink. And I didn't staple it just yet. So you'll sign it and you'll date it. And it's very good you work when you are not distracted. So if you have kids around and you can feel distracted, it's better you work when they are sleeping or when they are not around you. So make sure you sign your dates. And okay, so now that the form 1065 is signed, and that will just be the first page, but there is a peer area on the Schedule B. I wanted to make sure everything is up to. Now I'll put it back in the printer. So make copies. Okay, so I'm going to make sure everything print out for me. So I have page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, page 5. So what I will do next, you can use clips. You can use files. And we can work on this option later as well. But what I think I have my papers here. Maybe you can get fancy and use tabs. But what I like to do is I have scrap paper. So I need IRS, I need states, I need partner, and I need records. So, and the one that I took is the one that I printed. So I'm going to put states on it. I'm just to put the 2 letters of our states on it. And I can put it at the back to just show it to you. And I'm going to make copies again, but let me make sure those papers don't stick together. Okay. And the way I'm putting it in the printer, I have it facing up. In case you are wondering what kind of printer I'm using Samsung Express M2880FW. If I find my affiliate link, I'll put in the description in case you're interested. It's a black and white printer, and it does take, you can purchase an ink for it that is not necessarily the brand, the ink, the brand of the ink that came with it is a little bit pricier. And the second print is going to be for business record. So I'm going to make sure I have all my pages here, and I'm just going to write record on it. You know, you can come with everything that works for you, that will remind you what you are putting together. And I will have one file for the state, one for record, and now I have my original one. And for the clips, you can use different colors as well if you are interested. And then I'll put iris. So I have three files here, and if I'm not done to put them in the envelope, final envelope right away, I have folders as well. So that's partners, this is record, and this is iris, this is recycle. So if I make prints that doesn't turn out well, I have a folder for recycling. And I should have one for this state. So now seeing it, but I can pull a folder. Let's see, I can just stick with one color. And they are just all empty folders here. So I will have states. This is so if I'm not done with for them to go in the respective envelope, I have folders that they could go in as well. And then I will file them so that I can go back pull them out and work on them. So that's the folders, but right now we don't need them. So we have Form 10cc1 out, but we are not done. Next, we will print schedule K. So I'm going to close 10cc5 and I'm going to print the schedules. And the schedule K1s, I will print 2 copies. Our state does now require you add Schedule 1, Federal Schedule 1 to the tax to our state tax return, but you need to check your state tax returns instructions to see what is required. But our state require federal tax return and attachments to be added to the state tax return, but they do not want the Schedule 1s. So I'll only print 2 of those. One for, now in fact I will need 3. One for IRS, one for the partners, and one for the business. They don't need to be signed. Therefore, I can just make my 3rd copy here. And for this business having 5 partners, well, that would be 5 Schedule 1s. To print out. And at this point, I'm not even organizing 10cc1 the way it should be assembled. So you have to go back to the instructions to see how to assemble 10cc5. It will be on the first few pages. So I just put it, one for IRS, one for business, and one for partners. So it will go, I think I had a paper here. In fact, I can just cut one scrap paper again. And write partners. So one partner is out. I will print the second one. And I'll just make it 3 copies. And when everything is printed out, I'll go back to the instructions to see how I should assemble the 10cc5. And I believe it will be the 5 pages of the 10cc5 followed by probably, while I'm working on that, let's check the instructions here. Let's see page 9. Assembling the return. So page 1 and 5 will be the first things together. followed by Schedule F, Form 8825, that's if you have a rental property. And if you don't have, if you are not, you don't have rental property, you don't need Form 8825. Schedule D, capital gain and loss, if you have, if you need to have added your rule, otherwise you don't. Form 8949 for sales and other disposition of capital assets. Form 8996, Form 1125A, that's if you are selling goods, you'll have inventory, so you will need Form 1125A. So that's something that will go after the first 5 pages of 1065. Form 8941, credit for small employers, health insurance premium if required. Form 6252, installment sale income if required. Then Schedule K1, Form 65, and then you have Form 8939, and you have any other schedules in alphabetical order and any other form in numerical orders. So, and complete every applicable entry space. So if you need more space on the form or schedule, attach separate sheets and place them at the end of the return using the same size and format as the printed form. Show the total. Okay, so pretty much in our case here, we have 5 pages for 1065, and we have Schedule K1. We don't have 1125A, is a rental, is a portfolio income type of business. So, but if you sell products, then you need 1125A, Form 1125A for cost of goods sold. It will go after the 5 pages, assuming you don't have rental property. And then you will have your Schedule K1s, and after that you will have Schedule B1 if you have partners that own 50% and more of the partnership. So if you have rental property, you'll have your 5 pages of schedule of 1065, and then you'll have Form 8825 for rental property. Then you'll have Schedule K1s, and you'll add Schedule B1 if you have partners that own 50% of more of the business. So that's how you'll organize them. And then I like to staple them together and put them in the envelope. So, but first I like to print them out this way, and then I will assemble them as they are needed. States, IRS, and then I will put them in their respective envelopes. And if you have young kids, it can be difficult to keep them away from touching papers and moving things around or distracting you. So you might want to work on it when they are busy elsewhere or they are sleeping. So let's print our third partner, and do them in an order that you don't print one partner twice without paying attention. That's why when you have kids distracting you, there is a possibility you will make that mistake. So it's good when you have done, you review everything. So I just put states, IRS. I will put one for record, and I will put one for partners. I like to close one when I'm done with it before I open another partner, so that I avoid printing the same partner twice. So I will have iris, record, and partner. Okay, we can close that and open another partner. And if you have multiple partners, for instance, multiple partners, and no partner own 50% of the business, then you don't need to complete Schedule B1. But if that's just you that own 100% of the business, then you'll complete Schedule B1. So we have IRS, record, and partner. Okay, now that we are done with IRS, record, and partner. So now that we are done with that, I'm going to print states while I'm working on IRS documents. So let's start with the form state schedule, the form 1065 itself. So I'm going to go back to the instructions, and they say page 1 to 5. So I want to make sure I have my page 1 to 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I will review them later, but I have that. And let's see, form 1125A, we don't need that. Schedule K1 is the next one. So I want to make sure I have everybody here, and I like to organize in a certain way. So I will pay attention to the name. So I'm going to I will need, now that I have them organized, I remember that I need supporting documents. So I'm going to have a supplementary information for Schedule K, and it's just a spreadsheet. It is a spreadsheet that I use to support the entry, some entry on the form. So I'm going to print that for Schedule K and for Schedule K1s. So they will go at the bottom of Schedule K1s. And the spreadsheet will have your business name. If you need to attach a supporting document, you'll have the business name, the business EIN number, and then you'll have the information. And I can just show it to you. Let's see if I can. So it's just an example. You'll have the business name, the business EIN number, and you'll have the data you wanted to describe. Because the total is on the form, you wanted to detail every deduction. So now we have one copy out, but it's not just one copy I'll need one for the business. And in fact, the state will need one as well. So I will have IRS, I'll have state, and I'll have business record. So we will continue. We are going to print schedule supporting document for the schedules. And you notice that that's a lot of printing to do, and for every single one of them, let's see, I will need IRS, state, record, and partner. So that would be 4. The supporting document will help partners to file their 1040 because it will show what activities is passive, what income and loss is from passive activity for them. You know, they know activity they materially participate in and the one they didn't. So they will select the right information when they are filing their 1040 to determine whether they will be able to claim passive income, because you cannot claim passive income against active income. So having schedule a supporting document attached to partner schedule 1 is helpful for them. So we will have 1 for IRS, 1 for the state. The state does not want the schedule K1. So I don't think having a supporting document to the schedule K1 means something to them, but I will add it because it's going to the IRS as well, and they want every document you are sending to the IRS to be sent to them as well without the schedule K1. So I will add it to it, and pretty much print, let's see. And for the partners, the information, when you put it together, it should be the same thing you have on the schedule K. Schedule K. Okay, so we will have federal, state, record, and partner. Then I will move to the next partner. You could review everything. In fact, you should before you start printing them, but when you are done printing, it's good to review them again. And if you find a mistake that is hard to fix by just printing one copy out, maybe it might just be useful to start over again. So just keep that in mind so that you don't send the wrong information somewhere. We will move to the next one, prints and sent out. IRS, states, record. By printing one partner at a time, I don't need to be paying attention to the paper really. I'll be reviewing them later, but can be sure that every area they should go, I've been putting them there. And using a spreadsheet, it works because if you put formula in it, it should be able to calculate the portion of the schedule K data that should go on each partner's schedule, a supporting document. So that's why I like to use spreadsheet for it. But depending on the information you are trying to attach, if that's just a wording, you can use Word document as well. So we have IRS, states, record, and partner. This is IRS. Okay, so I think I have all my partners information printed out. And I can go back to state 1040, state 1065, and I will print one copy out. But while I'm working on that, let's go back to this again. We want the first 5 pages. For 5, I have that. we want schedule K1 because we don't have inventory cost of goods form 1125A to add or form 8825 to add. So what we have next in the list is schedule K1, and I want to organize them in a certain way. So I'm paying attention to the name to make sure I have all the partners schedule K1. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and I want to have schedule K supplementary information at the bottom, followed by they say to have all the other schedules in alphabetical order, any other form in numerical order. So I'm kind of surprised they don't say where the attachments should go. Okay, so show the total printed. Also be sure to attach separate sheets and place them at the end of the return using the same size and format as the printed forms. Okay, so they don't precise it, they don't specify anything, but I have this schedule K1s. I have schedule K supplementary information at the bottom. Now I will add schedule K1. I want to have it organized the same way I have the schedule K organized. So I'm going to pay attention to the names. And the things is with the supplementary information, they are about the lines. So on the form 1065, so box 15 and box 18, or line 16 and line 18. So those are numbers, and they have to be attached in a numerical orders, and you have to have the schedule in an alphabetical order. So I want to keep that in mind. My supporting document are numbers now, so I have box 13, and I have them in the order that I want. 2, 3, 4, 5, and then I have my schedule K, that is line 13 and 18 as well, but it will come before schedule K1, and then I have the schedule K1. So everything now is organized. So what I will do is, if you are unsure you have everything together, you don't staple, but I think I have everything. Now I will staple it. And I thought I have. Okay, so what I will do in this case is, I have my envelopes prepped already. So on the IRS form instructions, let's see what. It's good when you are filling the form, you have the instructions open, because it's going to tell you where you will send the documents. I'm not seeing it right now, but it will be on the first few pages. On page 5. So once I see the address that corresponds to the state, I will write it on the envelope and get the envelope ready. So I'm going to put it in the envelope, but I'm not going to seal it, because I will pull it out later and review it. So I'm going to move this. I can put it here just in case I need to look at that to organize my state. So now I'm going to work on the state here. The state does not have the state form itself, but I just want to make sure I know what federal information I'm adding here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have the Schedule K, Supplemental Information, Schedule K1. Schedule K1, Supporting Documents. And what I like to do with the state is I don't know if, I think I can still think about that. If I need to staple everything together, or have the states stapled together and have the states separately stapled as well. But you can do it either way. So I'm going to print the states. But you get the idea. Once you get the states and the federal done, that's pretty much it. And then later you go back, review everything before you seal the envelope. And the reason why I only print one copy of the states is because I need to sign it. And date it. Make sure you add your titles. Depending on your state, they might ask for your business title, and if it doesn't print out with the title, you might have to add it. Now that I sign it, I'm going to make one copy for the business. And it seems like I'm out of paper. I don't like to put a lot of paper in the printer so that I don't jam it. So make sure you have a lot of paper. You have enough paper on hand when if you are going to complete your tax return and mail it, because you will need paper. I shouldn't have. I think the one that I signed, I put it. No. Okay, I shouldn't have printed out again. You see, that's how you can get confused. When I turn to get a paper, I print it twice when I only need one copy. So that's why it's very important to stay focused. So this will go pretty much in the recycle pile. And I will just continue the same process. Go to state folder and pretty much print all the Schedule K1 for the partners. No, Schedule K1, like state Schedule K1. And those I will need two. One for the state, one for the business record. The partners don't need that. And in case you are wondering, Form 1065 is due by March 15. And today is February 24, 2021. So let's get out of this one and try the second partner. Okay. So I'll have states, I have record.